Say, bro, one of y'all said in the comments that must be that boy favorite hat. Boy, I bust out laughing. Y'all be ripping the shit out of me in the comments, boy. I ain't lying. I'm somebody's child, goddammit. But listen, this nigga right here is a profound back of the oven toucher, boy. This nigga here, he ridiculous. Check this out.
Sex tapes. Yeah,
Man,
400. That's the starting point for this deep dive, and you're not going to believe who we're talking about. We're looking at a political scandal, really rocking Equatorial Guinea, using reports straight from news outlets and local media. It's going to get a little uncomfortable, but we're going to focus on the facts and what they mean for the country. So, our story. It all centers on Baltazar Ngonga. He was the Director General of the National Financial Investigation Agency. He's been accused of secretly recording these tapes, and the women featured, they're deeply connected to the government. I mean, we're talking wives of officials, family members, even the president's sister.
Wow. The implications of someone in Ngonga's position, potentially using surveillance tech for this purpose, huge. We have to ask if consent was truly given, or if his power played a role. This isn't just a personal matter. It raises serious questions about the integrity of the agency he leads.
And the location of some of these recordings, it adds another layer to this whole thing. Imagine finding out that these acts took place in his office with the national flag visible in the background. It's just, it's a blatant disregard for the office he held.
Yeah. That detail speaks volumes about the potential misuse of government resources and a lack of respect for the institution itself. This isn't just a scandal about personal misconduct. It's a breach of public trust on a grand scale.
Say, bro, I'm not the most patriotic person in the world, but I'm not anti-patriotic either, right? But the flag, man, listen, man, that thing holds a different value to different people. I think I speak for most people that look like me. The flag is important, but it ain't important like how it is to some other Americans. Like, it's just you dig? So all I'm saying is, if the flag was in the bedroom, that wouldn't stop me from touching the back of the oven. Straight up, man. But listen, let's get back to this. Let's be serious for once, y'all. Let's be serious.
The government has responded swiftly, and Ngonga is now imprisoned, facing charges related to corruption, and any officials suspected of similar activities have been suspended. They're calling it a zero-tolerance policy.
It's an interesting approach, but it raises questions about whether this is a genuine effort to root out corruption or a calculated move to control the narrative. We'll need to look at the history of similar policies in Equatorial Guinea to understand the context and what this might mean for the future.
That makes sense. The Attorney General has stated that consensual sex is not a crime unless coercion can be proven, which adds complexity to the legal situation. But with the potential for the spread of disease and the high profiles of everyone involved, things get murky quickly.
Yeah, this situation really highlights the intersection of personal actions and public life. Even if some of the relationships were consensual, the potential for blackmail and damage to reputations adds another layer of concern. And when you consider the potential impact on national security and international relations, the stakes are even higher.
Now, all jokes aside, bro, whenever you have a person that's in a higher position than someone that they're doing anything with sexually, even if it's consensual, it could be looked at as quid pro quo. It could be looked at as abuse of power, because let's be real, you have authority over that person. It could get real murky. And I heard that he was sleeping with like high government officials' wives and things of that nature. So, if he really a gangster, he could be like on some, do this or I'm gonna expose the fact that I was touching the back of your wife's oven. You just never know, bro.
The fallout from this scandal has been immense, igniting public outrage and forcing people to grapple with the realities of power dynamics and accountability within their government. What are your thoughts on the societal impact of this, and where do we go from here?
Right. Scandals like this can trigger a crisis of faith in the government. People start questioning who they can trust. And if their leaders have their best interests at heart, rebuilding that trust requires more than just punishing individuals. It requires addressing the systemic issues that allow the situation to occur.
So, what are some of those systemic issues, and how do they play into what we're seeing unfold?
We need to look at this scandal within the existing political climate in Equatorial Guinea. There have been long-standing concerns about corruption and a lack of transparency within the government. This case just throws those issues into sharp relief.
It's like this whole situation has pushed those concerns to the forefront, making them impossible to ignore any longer.
Exactly. And it goes beyond individual accountability. We're talking about systemic issues, how power is distributed, how institutions operate, and how ethical conduct is ensured at all levels of government. This scandal could be a catalyst for demanding deeper reforms.
It all started with these leaked videos. which is a stark reminder of how technology can be used in ways we never anticipated.
Think about it, the accessibility of recording devices and how easily content can spread online has created a whole new set of risks and opportunities. We're seeing this play out all over the world, where private lives collide with public scrutiny in a way that was unimaginable just a few years ago.
And in this case, it goes beyond private lives. The potential misuse of surveillance technology by someone in Ngonga's position raises serious questions about national security and even international relations.
Absolutely. The potential for leverage and manipulation with this type of material is enormous. It highlights the critical need for robust cybersecurity measures and ethical guidelines for handling sensitive information.
You know what's interesting about this, bro? American, Canadian, I don't know what they are, but they sound like they have an American accent. Americans are always in other people's business, bro. Let them people handle that. Straight up. Who cares? As if our country is perfect. Boy, what in the Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton is going on here? That's all I'm going to say. Like, come on now. Bill Clinton was getting ate up in the Oval Office. Lord knows what kind of shit then went on since the invention of the Oval Office. Come on now, let's be real.
So how do we navigate this new landscape? It feels like we're constantly trying to find the balance between individual privacy and the need for transparency and accountability, especially when it comes to people in positions of power.
It's a delicate balance, and there are no easy answers. Open dialogue, critical thinking, and a commitment to ethical principles are essential. We need to have open conversations about the responsible use of technology, the limits of privacy, and the importance of holding those in power accountable for their actions.
One detail that really struck me was the report that some of these recordings took place in Ngonga's office.
You freaky frog.
Right next to the national flag. What does that say to you about the situation?
To me, that's a powerful symbol. It speaks to a complete disregard for the institution he was supposed to represent, almost a flaunting of his power, and a complete lack of respect for the nation and its people.
It makes you think about the women involved. They are victims caught in this web of power and manipulation. Their voices deserve to be heard. But how do we ensure that happens while also respecting their privacy and recognizing the potential trauma they've experienced?
It's about finding that balance again. We need to acknowledge their experiences and ensure they have access to support and resources. This scandal is a reminder that we need to be having conversations about power dynamics and consent, not just in Equatorial Guinea, but globally.
The only thing that they're a victim of is being recorded against their knowledge. That's the only thing, because they knew what they was getting into. They know that man was married, and some of them were married. They wanted him to touch the back of the oven, bro. They wanted to see what the hype was about, because if he able to hit all them women, bro, they was talking, bro. They was talking.
This deep dive has been eye-opening, to say the least. It feels like with every layer we peel back, we uncover something even more unsettling.
And remember, this is an ongoing situation. We're likely to learn more in the coming weeks and months, and the implications could be far-reaching.
So looking ahead, what are the potential long-term consequences for Equatorial Guinea? Where do we go from here?
The government's response will be crucial. Will they conduct a thorough and impartial investigation? Will they take meaningful steps to address those systemic issues we discussed? Or will they focus on damage control and simply try to sweep this under the rug? The international community will be watching closely.
This scandal has certainly put Equatorial Guinea in the global spotlight. It'll be interesting to see how the government navigates this, and if their actions, align with their words.
Yeah, their response will be a critical test. Will we see genuine steps towards reform and a commitment to transparency? Or will it be more about protecting those in power and maintaining the status quo? The world is watching, and their actions will speak louder than any statements they release.
Right. It makes you wonder about the potential impact on the political landscape.
Again, I ask, who in the hell cares, bro? That's people's problem right there. Y'all are so worried about another country's affairs, bro. You ain't even sitting up here witnessing the shit show going on over here, bro. Like our government officials is operating above board 24/7. Come on now. Let's be real, dog. Every president had a damn scandal. You know what I'm saying? This a small ass, tiny ass country with some black people in it, bro. Come on now. Y'all know y'all don't give a shit about them people. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Could this lead to increased calls for political reform from within Equatorial Guinea? Could this empower opposition groups? Or even spark social unrest?
It's definitely a possibility. Scandals of this magnitude, they can shift the balance of power. They can embolden those who've been calling for change and create an opportunity for new voices to emerge. It's a volatile situation. and the potential consequences are hard to predict.
Throughout our deep dive, we've been focused on the political and societal implications, but it's important to remember the human cost. The lives of everyone involved, directly and indirectly, have been irrevocably changed.
Absolutely. This isn't just a political drama playing out on the world stage. These are real people dealing with the fallout of this scandal. Reputations have been tarnished, trust has been broken, and there will be emotional scars that may never fully heal.
It's a stark reminder that behind the headlines and the political maneuvering are individuals grappling with the very real consequences of these actions.
Their stories are an important part of this narrative. We can't forget the human element. As we dissect the political and social ramifications.
Well, this has been quite a journey. We started with over 400 sex tapes and uncovered a web of power, corruption, betrayal reaching the highest levels of government in Equatorial Guinea. What are your final thoughts for our listener as they consider everything we've discussed today?
I think this deep dive highlights the importance of vigilance, both for citizens and the international community. We need to pay attention to the signs of corruption and abuse of power and hold our leaders accountable for their actions. We need to demand transparency and ethical conduct, and we need to support those who are brave enough to speak truth to power.
This scandal is a powerful lesson in the corrosive effects of unchecked ambition and the importance of safeguarding democratic principles. It's a story that's still unfolding, and it's one that will continue to have ripple effects for years to come. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll continue to follow the story as it develops.
Say, bro, on some freaky frog shit, right? I went to Twitter, X, typed in Equatorial Guinea. The first thing I see is a motherfucker who I thought was Wallow267 hitting something from the back. I'm talking about really touching the back of the oven, dog. It's real, man. And I just found out, too, that one of the 400 ladies who was involved in the scandal deleted herself. Oh, man, it's going down, bro. It's really going down. You know, anytime you got somebody in a position of power, it's gonna be really, really cloudy, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, because the way they're gonna spin it is this: like, if you're a manager at a job and you're sleeping with one of your subordinates, right? They could say this: the reason why we don't want you doing this is because you may show preferential treatment to this person during the relationship, and after you may be bitter and punish the same person because you're no longer having access to them. Like, it gets really deep really fast. So that's why a lot of people look at this the way they look at it. But at the end of the day, you know, everybody was consenting adults. It seems like, you know, you was wrong going against your vows and all that kind of shit there.
Equatorial Guinean anti-graft boss Nganga enmeshed in 400 video scandal. Baltasar Ibang Nganga, a top official of the Equatorial Guinean government, is embroiled in a massive scandal. According to Real Equatorial Guinea, the scandal was uncovered when officials searched the house and office of Nganga, the embattled Director General of Equatorial Guinea's Anti-Graft National Agency for Financial Investigation ANIF, as part of a fraud investigation. The country's authorities were said to have discovered about 400 explicit videos allegedly featuring him and numerous women. The footage, discovered in his office, reportedly included tapes involving prominent persons, such as his brother's wife, his cousin, the sister of the president of Equatorial Guinea, the Director General of Police's wife, and about 20 of the country's ministers' wives, among others. The videos, now widely circulated on social media, were filmed in his office, hotels, and toilets, with all scenes being recorded with the participants' consent.